All right, everybody, welcome in. We're diving headfirst into the tech job market today.
Yeah.
Which, let's be honest,
It's a hot topic.
it is a hot topic.
Yeah.
It's everywhere you look right now. It's in the
Right.
headlines. So we're going to try to cut through all that noise, figure out what's really going on.
Yeah.
And we've got a Wall Street Journal article to dig into.
Uh,
There's a LinkedIn news post kind of summarizing it, plus a ton of comments from, people actually in it. So
People in the thick of it. Yeah.
exactly, which is always good to see those different perspectives.
Exactly. And it's a real mixed bag.
Yeah.
Like, we've got people who are like, oh my God, the sky is falling. And other people who are like, this is fine. Like, this is normal.
This is fine with the dog. Yeah.
Exactly. And then, of course, everything in between. So.
Yeah. So let's start with like the current state of things, just to kind of like set the scene.
Okay.
The Wall Street Journal article, it doesn't sugarcoat it.
Right.
It's pretty stark.
Yeah.
They talk about this guy, Glenn Kugelman, I hope I'm saying his name right, who got laid off from eBay
Oh, wow.
and resorted to putting up flyers, like on streetlights in Manhattan,
Oh, yeah.
to find a new job.
Wow.
Flyers, like you would use for like a lost dog or something.
Like, have you seen this, software engineer?
Exactly, yeah. Missing, desperately needs work.
Yeah.
It's, talk about a sign of the times.
Yeah, it really highlights that, like, desperation that a
Yeah.
lot of job seekers are feeling right now.
Right, like this is not a drill.
Yeah.
This is, people are struggling.
This is serious.
Yeah, and it's such a contrast from, even just a couple of years ago, like pre-pandemic, when,
Right.
tech companies were, basically throwing money
Oh, yeah.
at anybody who could code.
It was a free-for-all.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
Like, remember all those stories about the lavish company retreats and like
Oh, my God.
signing bonuses that were like the size of a down payment on a house?
It's like a whole different world, it feels like.
It really does. It feels like a distant memory now.
It does.
But I think that's why, it's important to kind of like understand that historical context,
Okay.
right? Because the pandemic, it kind of created this like artificial bubble, I think, in a lot of ways in the tech industry. Like suddenly the demand for everything tech just like skyrocketed,
Through the roof.
through the roof.
Yeah.
And so companies, I think, just went on these like hiring sprees,
Yeah.
assuming that this growth was just going to like last forever.
Right, that it was the new normal.
Yeah.
Like, this is just how it is now.
Yeah, and we all know what happens when bubbles burst. So
Right, what goes up must come down, right?
exactly.
Yeah, but this is different.
Yeah, what makes this downturn different? Is it just the pandemic hangover, or is there something else going on?
It's definitely not just a hangover.
Yeah.
It's a lot of things coming together all at once, right?
Yeah.
So you've got, like the after effects of the pandemic that definitely accelerated things.
Yeah.
And then you've also got automation becoming more and more prevalent. Right. You've got, the global economy being a little shaky right now.
Yeah.
And even just like consumer spending habits are shifting.
Right.
So it's like all of these things are kind of coming together to make this a really, really different situation than what we've seen in the past.
Okay, so it's not just a correction.
No.
It's like a reshaping
And reshaping. Exactly.
of what the tech industry even looks like.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then you've got like the elephant in the room, right?
AI.
Yeah, the AI revolution, everybody's talking about it.
It's unavoidable.
It is.
Like any conversation about the tech job market right now, you almost can't have it without talking about AI.
It's everywhere.
It's woven into everything.
Yeah, it's not just woven in. It's like,
It's driving the bus. Yes, driving a lot of these trends, both the like really positive ones and the ones that are,
causing a little anxiety.
yeah, a little bit of anxiety for sure.
Yeah, you look at like the AI salaries that we're seeing,
Yeah.
and it's like eye-popping.
It's crazy.
The Wall Street Journal article was talking about like some AI specialist making over $1 million a year.
Oh, yeah.
$1 million. Like, is that even real?
It is real, and it reflects like the really high demand
Yeah.
for this very specific specialized skill set.
Right.
Companies are like throwing money at the few people who really know this stuff inside and out.
So does that mean that everybody listening should like drop everything and like go learn AI, even if it has nothing to do with what they're currently doing?
That's the million-dollar question, right?
Right.
Literally in some cases.
Yeah.
But the reality on the ground, like from what I'm seeing, it's a little more nuanced.
Yeah.
No, because you hear about those big salaries, and it's very tempting to be like, that's it, I'm switching career.
Right. I'm going to be an AI specialist.
Exactly. But remember, what's his name? James O'Brien. He commented on that LinkedIn thread.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he's a computer science professor at UC Berkeley, so like he knows what's up.
It's like in the trenches. Yeah.
Exactly. And he was saying that even his top students, like top of their class, graduating with, computer science degrees from Berkeley,
Wow.
they're not even getting job offers.
Really?
Yeah, so even with those like specialized AI skills, it's not a guarantee anymore.
Okay, so that's a reality check. Like, it's not just enough to have those skills on paper.
Exactly. And I think it speaks to a bigger point about like tech skills in general, right?
Okay. Yeah.
It's not enough to just know how to code anymore
Yeah.
or to build an algorithm. It's about what you can do with those skills.
Right. So it's like problem solving and
Exactly. Problem solving. Can you adapt to new tools? Can you like
critical thinking. Is that what they call it?
Yes, critical thinking. Can you, work alongside AI, not just for AI?
Right. So it's that whole, like, it's not humans versus machines. It's humans with machines.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that requires a different kind of tech worker, right?
What?
Someone who's not just like a coding whiz, but also has those soft skills.
Okay. Yeah. I was going to say those are becoming more and more important.
Oh, absolutely.
Like the human element.
Hugely important because those are the things that AI, at least for now, can't replicate.
Right. Right. So we're talking like communication, collaboration, adaptability.
All of that, yeah.
Okay. So those are the things that, like, in this new landscape, those are actually more valuable.
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
Because companies are like desperately looking for people who can bridge that gap between like the tech and the human side of things.
Right. Right. So you can, like, take the complex data and actually explain it to someone in a way that they're like, oh, okay, now I get it.
Exactly. Yeah, like you can translate it, make it make sense.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And just be able to thrive in an environment that's constantly changing.
Exactly, because that's the only constant is change.
This is true. Yeah. This is very true.
Yeah.
But it makes me think about, James Arnold made a good point too in the comments.
Okay.
He was talking about like the potential for companies to like use AI to drive down salaries in the long run.
Right. That makes sense.
Because like if you can get a machine to do the work for cheaper,
Right. Why would you hire a person?
why would you hire a person?
Oh,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which like makes sense from a business perspective, but it's like a little unnerving if you're,
Definitely a little bit scary.
if you're the one looking for a job right now.
Yeah, for sure.
So where do we even begin? Like it feels like a lot,
Yeah. No, it's a lot to take in.
We've got this shifting landscape,
Right.
new skills to learn,
Yeah.
AI like breathing down our necks.
Yeah.
For our listeners who are like in it right now looking for a tech job, what are they supposed to do?
Well, first of all, I just want to say, like, it's totally understandable to feel a little overwhelmed, right?
Because it is a lot, but in the middle of all this change, I think there's also a lot of opportunity.
Okay. I like that.
So it's like the old playbook is out the window,
Okay.
and the people who are going to thrive are the ones who are like writing the new playbook as we go.
So how do we do that? How do we write this new playbook?
Well, remember Dan Murray? He commented on that LinkedIn post.
Yeah, I had a lot to say.
He had a lot to say. He had like 15 things he thinks tech job seekers should be doing right now.
15.
I know it sounds like a lot.
That's a lot of homework.
It is,
Yeah.
but it speaks to like how proactive you really have to be right now. Like you can't just be sitting back waiting for the phone to ring.
So don't just polish up that resume and like hit send on all the job boards.
No, I mean, you can do that, but it's not enough, right?
Like you have to be out there building relationships, learning new skills.
So like networking is more important than ever.
Huge. Absolutely.
Okay.
I mean, he talked about specializing your skills.
Okay, so it's not enough to be like a jack of all trades anymore.
It's not. You really have to like find your niche
Okay.
and go deep on it, become like the expert in that one thing.
Become that go-to person.
Exactly. And ideally, it's something that you're actually interested in.
Right, so you're not miserable.
Wait, because that passion is going to come through.
Makes sense. What else?
And then the networking piece, you already mentioned that, but
Yeah, it's more than just like handing out business cards at a conference, right?
yeah, for sure.
I'm like, how do you even network in this like hybrid, remote world?
Yeah, it's definitely different, but you can still attend industry events,
Okay.
even if they're virtual. Connect with people on LinkedIn.
Right.
Just like put yourself out there, even if it's uncomfortable.
It's all about making those connections.
Exactly, because you never know where your next opportunity is going to come from.
That's true. That's true. And even if it doesn't lead to a job directly,
Right.
you're meeting people, you're learning, you're growing your network.
Exactly. And don't underestimate those transferable skills we were talking about earlier.
Right, like our friend
That's
Myron.
Myron, the Air Force
He
veteran.
went to coding boot camp, and he's like having a tough time finding a job.
He is, but he's got all this amazing experience from the Air Force.
That's right.
So it's like he may not have, 5 years of experience at a tech company, but he's got all these other skills that are just as valuable.
Project management, problem solving, keeping calm under pressure.
Exactly. And those are like gold in the tech industry, right?
Yeah, well, yeah.
So it's just a matter of like reframing those experiences.
Right, connecting the dots for people.
Exactly. And being your own advocate.
Yeah, like you got to be your own PR person.
A little bit, yeah. You have to be able to sell yourself.
Highlight your unique value.
Exactly.
And maybe even like create your own opportunities, right?
Exactly. And that's where I think that entrepreneurial spirit comes in.
Oh, yeah, because we were talking about Laura K. Chamberlain. She made that comment about like the rise of freelancing.
Yes.
And like independent consulting.
Yeah. And I think that's only going to continue to grow.
So it's not even just about finding a job anymore. It's like making your own job.
Exactly. What skills do you have that you could offer as a freelancer?
Right.
Or as a consultant?
Right. Or maybe you like build your own thing.
Exactly. The possibilities are kind of endless.
I like it. I like it. It's exciting and scary all at the same time.
It is. It's a little bit of both. Right.
Right. But ultimately, I think what you're saying is like this is an opportunity to like redefine what success looks like.
Exactly. Because the old definition is it's not really relevant anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. So as we kind of like wrap things up here
Okay.
for our listeners who are like ready to dive headfirst into this new world of work, what's like the one piece of advice, like the one thing you would leave them with?
I would say embrace the uncertainty.
Ooh,
I like that.
because it's not going away, right?
Right.
So instead of being afraid of it, embrace it. See it as a chance to reinvent yourself, to learn and grow.
Create your own playbook.
Exactly. And the skills that you develop now, the adaptability, that's going to serve you well no matter what the future holds.
I love that. Embrace the uncertainty because it's a brave new world out there.
It is.
And we're all figuring it out together.
That's the truth.
That's it for this deep dive into the tech job market.
It's been real.
We'll catch you next time for another deep dive into a topic that matters.